What's the story, everybody? This is Jonathan from Team Chainblock coming at you with yet another deck profile. But before we get into it, please check the links in our description. Use discount code CHAINBLOCK5 for 5% off all your Yu-Gi-Oh singles over at Kong's Cards. The most recent set at recording this is Maze of Memories, but that is just our discount code in general, and it'll be able to be used on whatever is out at the time of you watching this video. Also, our link to our trading group is in the description. We do giveaways every week. I do giveaways every weekend, and you can pick up some cool cards, maybe some free cards. So yeah, the deck I'm going to show you today is Sacred Beasts with Bystials. So yeah, my favourite deck, without question, and the first deck I played when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh was Buster Blader. But what was around at the time, and what was released at the time, was the structure deck, the Sacred Beasts. And that's probably the deck that I played the most for the first few months of getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Last format, unfortunately, because of these guys, it wasn't playable at all, like most rogue decks. But ironically, the fact that they're kind of disappearing from the meta unless you're playing a branded player makes this deck playable again, and they work really, really well together. So starting off, we have 3 Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast is the starter and another card. It's the main starter searcher for the deck. It searches anything that mentions the Sacred Beasts. Also, it gives you an extra normal summon for certain cards. We have it, before I go any further though, I have a dishonorable mention. Most Sacred Beast deck profiles would feature Peri-Res Map. I cannot stand this card. So you pay half your life points to add a monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand. That's great, but you show your opponent what you're playing, and if your opponent reads this, because they're allowed, or has ever played against this deck before, they know that stopping this is really going to mess up your day. So basically, you're just telling your opponent what you're playing and what to stop. So I would highly recommend not playing this. In my opinion, it's not super necessary. So we'll continue. The card that you'd usually use your extra normal summon on is Chaos Summoning Beast. Chaos Summoning Beast, you contribute it on the field to special summon a Sacred Beast from your hand. Also, you can banish it from the graveyard to add your field spell, which is one of the most broken archetype field spells ever, Fallen Paradise. It's a level 1, it goes away with Link Review. Dark Beckoning Beast gets linked away for Almirage. And yeah, most of the time you'll normal summon Dark Beckoning Beast, get your continuous spell, get Chaos Summoning Beast, and move from there. Also, there is Dark Summoning Beast. So Dark Summoning Beast is a level 5 with the extra normal summon you contribute over this. But mostly you will go into Almirage with opening up the Spirit Gates, special summon a 0/0 Fiend. So you can discard this, you just need to target in the graveyard at first, and then you will special summon this, and you can special summon a Sacred Beast monster from your deck to your field. But if you do, you won't be able to attack with your monsters, so you usually do this in main phase 2, or if you're going first. I play 2 Haman. If Haman's in defense mode, your opponent has to attack that. If you manage to get 2 Hamans on the field, your opponent just can't attack, which is pretty funny. If Haman destroys a monster, your opponent takes 1,000 damage. And then, as I already see here, is opening the Spirit Gates, which is what you're usually searching off Dark Beckoning Beast and vice versa. Opening the Spirit Gates, when activated, you can add a Sacred Beast monster, or a monster that mentions the Sacred Beasts. Also, if you have a Sacred Beast on field, you can add a continuous spell to your hand. Play 1 Raviel and 1 Shimmering Scraper. So if your opponent normal summons where Raviel is on the field, you get a token. Raviel contribute a monster on your field to get its attack for the turn. Shimmering Scraper, you can discard this to give essentially Raviel, make him 8k, and he can attack all monsters. So this deck does OTK super easily. 2 of the field spell, 2 Fallen Paradise. It's absolutely broken. So when Fallen Paradise is on the field, you can draw 2 if you control the Sacred Beasts, and your Sacred Beasts cannot be destroyed by card effects and cannot be targeted by card effects, which is insane. Great card. We play another field spell for a monster in the extra deck, which is Mound of the Bound Creator. Great card. So any level 10 or higher monsters cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. It's just the same thing essentially, but when you destroy a monster under this, that's level 10, your opponent takes 1,000 damage. We play 1 Cerulean Skyfire. Again, it's searchable. Cerulean Skyfire is one of the only cards that can stop Super Poly. So if you have a mon on the field in attack position, your opponent activates a spell or trap, you have the mandatory option to change them on to defense mode and negate spell or trap. So that is insane, obviously. And then we play the trap, which is Awaken of the Spirit Gates. So if you've one Sacred Beast on field and your opponent is summoning monsters, you gain all them monsters' attack as life points. You can get your life points up to ridiculous. You can win on time super easy in this deck. If you have two monsters on the field with different names, either or, it turns into your skill drain essentially. If you have three, which we do not play YuGiOh, it turns into a Macrocosmo. So great card, and that is the Sacred Beast package. So now we'll go into the Bystial package. So we're playing 2 Druid's Worm, which is probably the best one. If Druid's Worm leaves the field, you send a special summon monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Mag, you summon it, activate its effect, add a dragon in the end phase. You probably would add the Bystial to Bellion. You can discard this to add a Bystial, or tribute it from the graveyard to get a set of Branded Regain. 1 Baldrake, you can tribute to banish opponent's monster. 1 Serenair to send to the graveyard, and then 1 Branded Regain. Branded Regain has really nice synergy in this deck because if you have a Sacred Beast in the field, you can discard this to special summon one of your summoning beasts, and then you can add it back if you have a Sacred Beast on field. So what Branded Regain does is, if a monster is banished, you can send that to the graveyard or to the bottom of your deck and then draw a card. So you can banish off one of the Sacred Beasts, which are usually, or the Summoning Beasts, which are usually just sitting in your graveyard to special summon a Bystial, and then recycle it with Branded Regain. It's really, really cool. 2 1-ofs. Show Play River Starfrost. It lets you go into some synchros. It's a level 6. It's a light, and as I said, you'll usually be able to get a lot of monsters on field. So River Starfrost is easy to summon, and then we play 1 Call Boy because it's Call Boy, and it's just one of the best cards ever printed. So yeah, that is the Bystial package. Let's go into. There's lots of room in this deck for some staples. The first staple we play is Effect Vader. I was playing Imperm, but Effect Vader is a light and it's a level 1 tuner, and off a monster in the extra deck you can special summon it, and again you can go into some synchro plays, and yeah, it's a light. It's a banished target for a Bystial. Another thing that can trigger a regain is 3 Allure of Darkness. Bystials are dark, all the Sacred Beasts except them on are dark. You play Allure of Darkness. This deck draws a lot. 3 evenly matched, because it's evenly matched. It's insane. And then the best card in the deck is 3 Skill Drain. So Chaos Summon the Beast tributes for cost to special summon from your hand. Dark Summoning Beast tributes for cost to special summon from the deck. And then all the Bystials activate in graveyard. So Skill Drain is just a no-brainer. It's great. It just closes out the game by itself. If you go into the long game, it doesn't really matter. You've loads of continuous stuff that helps you out, and it's just insane. And it's a must-have in this deck, in my opinion. We'll go into the extra deck. 1 Link Revo. That's for one of the Summoning Beasts. 1 Armorage. You link away the Beckoning Beast to start your combo. Pentastag, as I said, you can get Raviel insanely big and to attack all monsters, and then under Pentastag it's a load of piercing battle damage. 1 Dark for link climbing, and all your monsters are darks. 1 Barricade Board Blocker. 1 Barricade Board Blocker, I said that right. It gets you a continuous spell or field spell back, and it's just a generic link 2. It's pretty good. 1 Nightmare Cerberus, just again another link 2. There is times where you'll just have a load of monsters on the field. And I play one of the Bujinki Ashima, we'll go with that. So this is a pretty cool card. So it requires 2 monsters with the same level. So that's your Bystials, your 1 Vivid Starfrost, 2 your Dark Beckoning Beasts, which will just be sitting in your graveyard most of the time. So if this card is linked summoned, you can special summon 2 cards with the same level, and then you basically XYZ summon immediately with them. So I'll show you a card which you go into that later. When that XYZ monster activates its effect, you can destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. So it's pretty cool. IP into Unicorn and 1 access code. So they are your links. Go into your synchros now. Crimson Blader, you can make level 8s, so your Vivid Starfrost and the Beckoning Beast. You attack with this, your opponent cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters, so if you manage to play against a branded player and you destroy a monster with Crimson Blader, they just cannot, or the Cashteras, they're all level 7, they can't summon them from the next turn. Pretty funny. Bar Load, as I said, you can make level 8s pretty easily. And then, card that was just made viable again, this is the Maze of Memories print, so it's the updated errata version. You can destroy your Fallen Paradise, which is searchable, to get Mounded to Bound, or vice versa. You can special summon one of your level 4 lower monsters from your hand, and it's Ancient Fairy Dragon. It's insane, we know what it does. So we're on to XYZs. Beatrice, this is send any card to the graveyard, triggers the Bujinki. It's a level 6, it's Beatrice, it's insane. Your other level 6 is Wallow. It's just another really good rank 6. And then Burning Time, just in case you don't get your trap, it's Super Dreadnought, Red Cannon, Gustav Max. So yeah, the extra deck is actually super flexible, but I hope you enjoyed that, guys. That was Sacred Beast, Bystials. Please like and subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the description, and everyone who's going to YCS London, best of luck, we'll be there, and see yous.